Hey y'all. So it is Thursday, and last Wednesday, I decided to spontaneously book this trip to Costa Rica. And so now I'm at a hotel in Costa Rica. Just posted my 50th video here on YouTube. So, been doing that for 50 consecutive days, 50 days of daily posting, and I also turned 30 this month. And something I was thinking about is what I want the highlight reel of my life to look like. Like, realistically, what do I want the highlight reel of my life to look like? Not like, you know, my Instagram page, not how I've decided to organize the little squares on, my profile or anything, not. And I don't know if you guys remember from the other day, but I told you there was like this little animal. I found out it was called a Watusa. I might be able to show you guys. We're like a minute into the video. Let's see if you can see it. Hold on. Do you see a little animal back there? Right there. You see it moving? Anyway, it looks like a little capybara. Um, it's been here since I got here. Like when I walked into this place, I'm getting off track already. But anywho, I was thinking about the highlight reel of my life and what I want it to look like, and not just like lighting is a little weird. Not just like what I posted to Instagram, but like actually when I'm 80 years old, what stories am I gonna have to tell? What places am I gonna be able to talk about? What people am I going to be able to talk about meeting and learning from? Um, yeah, even if you were here for the video a few days ago where I talked about how different I expected my life to be, wanting to be married, wanting to be a little further along in life in some ways. I also think about, okay, once I am married or once I find my person, like what what experiences do I want to be able to bring to that relationship, right? Um, I don't know what this bug is. Is it a bee? I don't know. There's a lot going on, y'all. Lord. Okay. Um, I don't know if that was picked up on camera. I feel like I should start this video over, but I'm not gonna do that. Y'all are getting the real version of what happens when I record these videos. Yeah, and also just like back to the topic. Also, like what person I want to have become by the time I reach a certain age, and that obviously can change. I think what I wanted for my life when I was 22 is very different from what I want for my life as a 30-year-old. And how I feel about myself is also very different. And I know that that's going to change, not saying that in a year I'm going to be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm terrible," or I don't know. Not saying that it's going to change so drastically, but I know obviously as I change and evolve and as my experiences in life grow, my view of myself and my future is going to change quite a bit. So anywho, I was thinking about that and really contemplating like, okay, there's a lot that obviously I wish had happened at this point in my life, but it's so annoying, y'all. Doing the old person thing. Trying to figure out the camera. Anywho. Um yeah, thinking about like that the the 22-year-old version of me and what she wanted. Um and I think it in some ways it's similar, but in some ways it's very different. Like I never would have pictured myself working remotely. I never would have pictured being able to pick up and take a spontaneous trip to another continent with my job. I think I think that's the part that surprises me so much is like, man, if I hadn't gotten creative a year ago, 2 years ago now actually, if I hadn't I hesitate to use the word bet on myself, but if I hadn't done that a year ago, I keep saying a year ago, 2 years ago, then I wouldn't be able to do this most likely. Um, and I think that's a part of my highlight reel that I'm going to be really proud of. You know, like she wasn't afraid to pick up and change careers and see if she could be, and when I say she, I mean like my 80-year-old self looking back at 30-year-old Alexis. She wasn't afraid to pick up and try something new, even though it was unfamiliar, even though it was uncertain, even though I didn't really. I keep seeing this thing like moving in the bushes and it scares me because I forget that it's just like that little animal and not some other little animal. Um, yeah. And so what I'm getting at is that at this point in my life, I think I want to be even more intentional. I think I am, generally speaking, in how I'm really proud of how I feel like I've been the architect of my life in a lot of ways. Uh that's been knocking around in my head. Like how would I word this? And going off a little bit, I think a lot like how I would describe the person that I want to be with. And I often in my head think I want somebody who is living their life and is like taking the bull by the horns and isn't one of those people that like life happens to them as much. And I was trying to compact that into something that was like cohesive and made sense and like captured the thought. And I think architect of your life is what I landed on, looking at my neighbor. Yeah, is kind of what I've landed on there. But yeah, I am really proud of how I've built my life now. And I think that going forward, I want to be even more deliberate, even more intentional about the moves that I make. And really, before I make decisions, thinking about the goals that I have and how these actions are going to affect my goals and affect, you know, my future and what that looks like. And I don't know who necessarily this video is for, but I do think that, especially now when there's so much going on in the world, um, a lot of us are just trying to make it day by day. That, heck, that's how it feels for me most days. It's probably honestly the reason why I booked this trip last minute, because it was like, I need a break. So happy I did this trip, by the way. And I did talk, I'm getting off track again, but I did talk about the Black Sand Beach that is right here, and I went this morning. So I'll include a clip at the end of the Black Sand Beach and where I was walking this morning. I have to check out of this hotel today. So I got a few things done earlier this morning. Went to get breakfast, went down to the Black Sand Beach, rode alongside the beach. There's like boats, and like later in the day there'll be like vendors and stuff selling like homemade jewelry, and they'll be making their bracelets and necklaces and scarves and all the things. But yeah, took a ride down there. I kind of want a smoothie. I don't think I'm gonna have time to do that. But anywho, again, getting off track, but I'll include a clip at the end of the Black Sand Beach. It's honestly, when I booked this, I didn't even know there was a Black Sand Beach nearby until I was like looking on Google Maps and it said Playa Negra, which means like Black Beach. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's like the name is what it is. A lot of times the beaches aren't like that. It'd be like Playa Barnes. And it's like the guy that discovered this beach or the guy that named this beach, that was his last name. So that's what they decided to. This Watusa is going to be the end of me. Like it's chilling, it's not doing anything, but it keeps like racing back and forth. Whew, okay. um, Anywho, okay. Back to the point. I don't know who this video is for, but being that a lot of us are just trying to survive, what I am trying to do is really make decisions that will either put me on the path or solidify, reinforce the direction that I want to go. The type of person. Hi, good morning. um, this is another thing. Getting used to recording when there are like people around, because usually I do it in my apartment when my roommate isn't even around. So, seeing myself do this where I'm like talking into a camera with a itty bitty lapel mic, with like I brought my tripod on this trip. Who is she? This is crazy. 50 days of daily posting, and this is what this has turned me into. Anyhow, yeah, I think more of us, should be asking those questions when we have the opportunity to make a decision. Like, okay, what is this going to mean for future me? And try to make decisions that will be investments for your future self, because everything you do now is an investment in who you are going to be, right? Whether it's deciding to go to the gym, whether it's deciding to take 10 minutes and do a language learning lesson, whether it's to spontaneously book a trip to Costa Rica, whether it's, um, making a smart financial decision, whether it's to post daily on YouTube for 51 days, whatever it is, I think there are a lot of things we can do to create the lives that we want and create our highlight reel. Kind of similar to the other video I made where it's like we have more agency than we realize. We have more control over our lives than what we realize. And every single day we make choices, even if we don't realize it. Like not making a decision to do something is it's still a choice you make, right? Um, yeah, and I don't know. I think for most people, our life's highlight reel isn't made just, in the words of my father, fiddle farting around. um, Shout out to Papa Alexis Antoinette for that one, but it's made by making decisions, and obviously it's gonna look different for all of us, right? Like somebody else might be like, why you have better things to be doing than dilly dallying, gallivanting in Costa Rica, which might be true. But for me, this is something that adds to my highlight reel. This is something that I would be excited to talk to my future partner about, kids if that ever happens, and even just in general, like having conversations with friends 15 years from now, 10 years from now, like, yo, you remember when we were all doing these different things? You remember when me and you took a trip to Colombia? You remember, you know, you hated your job and you did what you needed to do. You had a better paying job at a better company with better benefits. You remember, when you and so were, having relationship issues and you both decided that you wanted to make it work and you both grew better together. All those are decisions. Um, yeah, and I do think that for most of us, the best parts of our highlight reel will probably be the parts that are a little uncertain, that are a little crazy. But crazy is only crazy until it works out, right? So, hey, people thought I was crazy for coming on this trip. Like, people were upset that I was coming on this trip. Okay, then people gonna be all right. They are living their lives just fine. Yeah, and I don't know, just reflecting on that on my life's highlight reel. I'm excited now that I decided to make this decision because this is something that I'm going to be able to add to it. I'm going to be able to add, you're on TikTok, Instagram, even, YouTube shorts or whatever, and you see a whole bunch of clips of somebody's year, like each month from somebody's year, and they're doing something different each month. They're trying something new. They're going someplace. They're hanging out with friends. They're, investing in themselves, going to the gym, in therapy, like whatever it is. And this is something that I have chosen to go in my life's highlight reel. I love that for me. And I hope that as many people as possible do something similar. Like, what are you going to add to your highlight reel? I'm not saying take a spontaneous trip to somewhere, okay? But hello. Um, but I am saying, like, I don't know, try a new exercise class, you know? Um, go somewhere and try to meet some new people. There are a bunch of ways that we can add to our highlight reel. If you have kids, do something interesting with your kids today. That could also be part of your highlight reel. Who knows? That's up to each of us to think about. But I think it's important to think about, like, okay, what do I want my highlight reel to look like, and what do I need to do to make that happen? So yeah. Anyway, y'all, this one was a kind of all over the place video. Apologize for that. But yeah. Thanks for watching. I am going to add the video of the Black Sand Beach to the end. So if y'all don't know, my name is Alexis. I post here on YouTube every single day. Today is day 50. It's 50 something. 51, 52. I don't know. Check my track record though. The number of videos posted are the number of videos that I have posted daily. So feel free to hit subscribe. My stretch, well, not stretch. My first goal is 100 days of daily posting, and my stretch goal is a full 365. So feel free to hop on this train early. Come on in, take your shoes off. Drinks are in the fridge, bathrooms down the hallway. Everyone's welcome as long as you're respectful. So come on and join the fam, join the tribe, join a whole group of fun people. We have fun over here. So anyway, have a good day. Thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye.